Okay, we're recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome back, traveling teachers. And if you're new, welcome to the group, welcome to the community. And if you're watching this because you bought the course, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that you find a ton of value with this. So I'm Brittany. I'm the admin for Traveling Teachers. I'm also the founder of it. This is my tour company. And so just to clarify, I am a tour operator, which means I plan group trips. I'm also a trip leader for those trips when I'm going somewhere with them. And I'm also a travel agent separately with IntelliTravel as an independent travel agent. Oh my gosh, such a mouthful. I also have a travel blog. If you're watching this, I would love for you to drop your favorite travel emoji or 3 or 4 or however many. And because I'm streaming from StreamYard, you could just let me know who is watching. I would love to be able to interact with you. As any of you know, if you've done teaching online or any kind of streaming, it's really weird when you're just talking at the camera because you can't actually see people's faces. And though you do get used to it over time, it still always feels a little bit weird. So I would love to be able to actually interact and engage with you. So welcome. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the art of the bump. And when I was telling people about this, when I was hyping you up for it, I was talking about how you can get free flights, but this is actually just encompassing different ways you can travel for free, because getting bumped isn't just something you can do with flights. You can also do it with hotels, and I'm going to show you how tonight. I'm going to actually try to keep this shorter than other videos. If you are tuning in for the first time, we do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Arizona time. This is part of Travel Hackers Academy. And so how it works is I show you a video and I teach you a way to travel like a pro, either like an actual pro by becoming a travel industry professional, or a way that you can travel well on a budget for free or paid by someone else, or even just paying for yourself, but in a really, really low rate. I don't see any comments yet. Hopefully we'll have some listeners and watchers drop some travel emojis below and let me know who's watching. I would greatly appreciate that. Hello, everyone who's coming on, and we're going to get right into it. So I am going to share my screen with you. Yes, Vanessa. Thank you. Welcome. Hi, everybody. And hi, Vanessa. So Vanessa is also a travel agent. And she has a really awesome blog called Travel the World History. So if you love history, if you teach history, and you also enjoy travel, which you probably do because you're here, be sure to go check out her blog. And if you know her, be sure to book your travel with her. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Actually going to do that now. And it'll take me just a second. Okay, and we're going to present from the beginning. Okay, and so hopefully my internet will cooperate with us tonight. And I did not change the title. Oh my goodness, Brittany, what are we going to do with you? Okay, so tonight is about the art of the bump. If you're watching this in the course, I'll be sure to get you those updated slides. Okay, so who I am. So I already kind of said this, but in case you came on later, my name is Brittany. I'm the admin for this group. I'm a teacher, tour operator, trip leader, and travel agent and travel blogger, but that's all a mouthful. So I'm just saying I'm a travelpreneur because it's a lot easier for people to digest. Tonight, you're going to be learning about the art of the bump. And this is not just about getting free flights, but free stays as well. And it's under the common theme of how you can travel for free. I feel like a lot of people hear that and think, scam. But there's absolutely so many ways that you can travel for free. You can travel well on a budget for free and even paid. And I want to be able to show you how to do that. How you'll know you've learned it. Doesn't this feel like class? You have your learning goals and success criteria, right? So how you'll know you learn it is you be able to actually put it into practice. And that's what part of this group is for. So if you're putting this into practice, we would seriously love to hear about it. I know I would. I always love hearing about the ways that you guys get to travel well on a budget, paid and for free. So be sure that you're sharing that with us. And I'm just going to go into the group and follow along so I can make sure that I'm getting all of the comments as well. Okay. Hey, Jeff. Who else we have? Oh, you're awesome. Thank you for the shout out. Oh, you're so welcome. She's watching from her vacation. That's commitment, guys. I love it. Alyssa, she's got the hiking boot. Yes, love it. And I have some other people. So I got Jeff, Vanessa, Alyssa, and I'm not sure why he's not showing me all of them on the phone, but that's okay. Welcome, regardless. So you'll know you've learned it because you'll be putting it into action. And why it's important, obviously, we're teachers. We don't make as much as we should, right? But you're going to be learning ways that you can make that money go further. Also, shameless plug, if you have not listened or downloaded or subscribed or rated the podcast Teachers Talk Travel yet, make sure that you go to our website, which is beautiful and new. Alyssa just updated it, by the way. That's teacherstalktravel.com. And that's where you'll really learn about how you can travel farther and more often on a teacher's budget, right? And we give you all kinds of neat ways to travel. This group is focused more on how to travel on a budget also, but more so how you can do it for free, sponsored, and paid. Okay. And so, yes, I'm a travelpreneur and I'm sharing all that stuff with you as part of Travel Hackers Academy, which is a course I'm building, which you might have even purchased. So in case you're new and this is your first time seeing these photos, I love red Mountain Dew. I know it's not good for you, but it's so delicious. And yeah, so that's my favorite drink. And that picture was in the Borrego Springs State Park, which is in Southern California. I highly recommend that you go there during spring. Beautiful wildflowers. The one next to that is a pro picture. Below that is at the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland. Very beautiful. On top right is in Wicklow County. Hey, Anne. Hey, Lynn. Hi, guys. I'm following on my phone now. Feels a little easier. And then the bottom right is in the Cinque Terre in Italy. And of course, have some pictures just of traveling. I am not the kind of girl that you follow for the super beautiful selfie and the, beautiful pristine turquoise background. That's not the kind of travel that I can always capture for myself. I can do that for other people. But for me, if you follow my accounts, just so you know, I'll help you save money. I'll show you beautiful landscapes, but selfies are not my forte. So I apologize. But the one that you can see in the top middle, that's actually from a flight that I was recently bumped from. Oh, the picture cracks me up of you hiking in flip-flops. Okay, quick story time. So I actually hiked for 10 miles in the Alps of Switzerland in flip-flops. Not the most recommended thing. Again, that's not something I would do on group trips with traveling teachers, but it's just a fun story because that's just showing you the power of travel, how you might be somewhere and you're not expecting to do something. And then you just meet up with other people and they say, let's go hiking. And we say, okay, little hike. So we had a 1.5 mile hike, but then we just at every venture point, we just kept going and making it further and further. And then we ended up hiking 10 miles that day in sandals. It was definitely not something I would advise everyone to do, but it was fun. It makes for a good story. And then the one in the Borrego Springs area, that's not really a hike. It's just basically off the road. But yes, I really advise being well prepared. And even if you're traveling like in a hostel or you're kind of traveling with a loose itinerary, always good to have like a travel capsule wardrobe with you. So like hiking boots, some some flats that look nice with a dress if you wear dresses. So yeah, so some norms. Make sure that you know that this meeting is recorded. This is part of the Travel Hackers Academy course. All the videos will be going in there as well as additional resources and supports. And I ask that you please give StreamYard permission to be able to stream this because it allows me to see your name and who's posting in the comments. Totally not required, but it helps me to know who's talking. Otherwise, I can also follow along on here. I'll drop all relevant links below in the comments. I'll try to do it as we go or after, and if not, over time, just keep checking the units. Please engage. If you haven't already, say hi, drop your favorite travel emoji, or maybe if you want to make it kind of a game, if you're going to another country soon, drop the flag so people can guess where that is. And of course, as always, keep all dialogue respectful and helpful. Don't tell me what to do. Typical Erin. Hey, Erin, what's up? Hey, Melissa, nice to see you. Erin, I just waved at you. I'm still, even though you're being grumpy with me. Okay, so the art of the bump. What does that mean? What is it to be bumped? So a bump basically happens when you go to a hotel or a flight and you have a reservation. So this is not just for people who walk up and book last minute. You've already booked, you already have a reservation, and then you show up and it's oversold. Many of you don't know this about me, but I've actually worked in hospitality way before I was a teacher. I've only been a teacher officially for 3 years. I've had other kinds of alternative education jobs, but I've actually worked in travel and hospitality longer. And so my first big job was I managed a front desk at a really nice resort, which I'll show you photos of in a minute. And so this was something we actually had to deal with pretty frequently. It was in the Palm Springs area. It was a world-class resort. So you have a much higher expectation. And so when guests are coming in, they expect that if they've paid in advance, if they have a reservation, that they're going to get a room. And that's a reasonable expectation, right? Well, I'm ignoring you. Well, that's fine. That's fine, Erin. So Erin's my friend, by the way. So, although watch him say that he's not, because that's the kind of person he is. Okay, so it was in Palm Springs area, and as you probably know, that happens to host some big festivals every year. And about 10 or so years ago, Coachella Fest wasn't as big as it is now. It was getting there, but it wasn't. Well, actually, no, 10 years ago, it was, but it was just barely kind of getting there, right? Still, it would sell out hotels. if you're not familiar with the Coachella Valley, it would sell out from the Salton Sea, where I was from, which is a little more than an hour south of Palm Springs, all the way out to Banning and Beaumont, which is over an hour past Palm Springs. So that's a pretty wide range of about, 120 miles, 60 miles or so each way. Excuse me. And all the hotels would be sold out. The hostels, the beautiful resorts, and people would come and spend a ton of money on top of Coachella itself. So as you can imagine, overselling on a huge worldwide event like that, probably not the best idea. And so what happens is, to maximize their revenue, hotels and airlines, they will try to have as many people in there. I had a feeling you worked hospitality. I don't know what that means. Deanna says, I was assistant manager at a hotel. My tip is to be super nice to front desk staff. They have all the power to upgrade or not. Absolutely. I have so many stories, both like great and otherwise, about customer service. And it has just totally changed the way that I interactions with people. It's definitely made me a lot more nice, I think, to travel folks, because there's just so much, especially if you work like at a busy airport or at a really busy hotel or a high class hotel, like a resort. Okay. So yes, they want to maximize their revenue. And so they'll sell out all of their rooms, and they usually actually oversell by about 5%, sometimes even more than that. So you just really want to be careful of that, but you can take advantage of it. So what I recommend is that you always try to book 1 or 2 extra days onto the end of your trip. And if you can, try to leave some wiggle room at the beginning. That way, if you know you're going to a flight at a very busy time of the week, like say on a Saturday or Sunday, or a busy time of the year, like summer, imagine, especially this summer, as all of the restrictions are being lifted and all of these countries are opening up, you're going to see a huge influx of people coming in. It's going to be fewer flights, and people are going to be inundated because there aren't as much staff, right? At least for a while. So when you're traveling at busy times of the year, that's when it's more likely to get a bump, which can be a good or bad thing, but we're going to show you how to take advantage of it. Okay, so where it can be really nice accommodation. So like I said, the resort, when that would happen, like I said, there was no travel, no hotels available in that whole range, right? Well, what they would do is they would actually pay for you to go somewhere else, and they pay for you to get the transportation to that spot. And then they usually also pay for like a really nice dinner for you. I do recommend that if, let me just tell you, it sucks to be the manager to have to tell someone, hi, welcome to Rancho Las Palmas. So glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you booked a reservation with us. Unfortunately, it is my displeasure to inform you that you no longer have a room available because we're overbooked for this evening. Worst words that you have to say if you work at a hotel, right? Because the reaction is going to be coming is frustration, anger, and understandably so, especially if they've been traveling in, they've been looking forward to this, especially on a weekend like Coachella Fest, where they wanted specifically to stay close to that event, right? Or some big conference. Hey, other people coming. Hey, Allie. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Riley. Thank you for dropping the travel emojis. I love it. Please feel free to engage. And so when you have overbooked flights and hotels, obviously people are stressed out. But if you are patient and if you are really nice, you can usually get some nice things. So why? Why would you want to be bumped, right? Well, the free stuff and the upgrades. So if someone had come in and they had their reservation and they weren't bumped, they could just stay there, right? And it would just be like a normal reservation. But what would happen is, if I could anticipate that I knew we were going to be oversold for a night, I would look at the people coming in, I'd look at their rivals and say, you know what, this is a group of young people. Maybe they wouldn't mind staying a little bit further if they could get some awesome perks, And so you kind of make those judgments, for lack of a better word, I guess it's what they are, and try to figure out if someone's going to be okay, or you just tell it to whoever's coming up next. Different companies do it different ways, but airlines are pretty much the same way. They always want to avoid bumping people involuntarily because then they have to offer more compensation. But if you want to get bumped, it's great because then you often get a free flight or free stay and then other perks on top of that. Hey, Elaine. Make sure if you're watching, say hi, drop your favorite travel emojis. I love it. Makes me so happy. Okay. So yeah, that's the resort. That's where I worked. That was in Rancho Mirage, California, about 30 minutes south of Palm Springs. It's beautiful. I mean, this is the kind of place that I worked at. I worked there for about 4 years, and I still loved going into work every day because the sunsets were just stellar. It had a water park on site. It had a golf course. I never played golf, but it had a spa. I've been there. I got my hair done for free. amazing perks if you work in hospitality, and that's Coachella Fest, right? And that was a few years ago. So just imagine how massive it is now that's international. So if you are going to a large event, that's something you want to be aware of, because maybe you can't get bumped because your dates are very tight. But if you can, definitely can get some free stuff. Okay, so hey Cheryl, hi. So one to ask. So if you're going to go into a flight and you've already paid for it and you're looking to get bumped because you want to try to get a free voucher in the future, I really recommend that you get there early. And I always recommend getting there early. I am that person who, even if it's a domestic flight, I will always get there at least 2 hours in advance, if not more. And the reason is just because I've seen so many things happen, not just to myself, but to other people. And let me just tell you, it is better to be early and have the time, listen to music, get your work done remotely. If you can, get your teaching stuff done. And it's just so worth it, so much better. Oh, thanks for the emojis, Elaine. Deanna says, my husband and I got offered to be bumped on a flight from Washington, D.C. to LAX. We each got a $500 voucher, which practically paid for our next flights to Europe. Yes, and that's why you would do it, right? That's why you would voluntarily do it. So if you're going onto a flight and you want to get bumped, you want to try to get those free vouchers, and often they'll give you extras, right? Like if you have to stay to the next day, they'll give you a free hotel and free dinner. And if you're in the EU, some other special rules, which we'll talk about in a second. But ask early and often. So they won't always know whether or not the flight's overbooked until a little bit later, especially if they have to move flight crew, then they'll get prioritized and the other people will get bumped, right? So sometimes it's a very fluid situation, but I highly recommend you get there early, you go through security, and then you go right to the gate. And if you're interested in that, let the ticket agent know. Say, hey, how is the flight booking looking? Is it possible that I can volunteer to be bumped? And then they'll look it up. And if they are getting overbooked, then they will be so thankful, usually because they know they're not going to have to involuntarily bump someone else. And the EU has really amazing protections with this. If you're flying to or from anywhere in the EU, you actually are entitled to compensation, whether you voluntarily book or whether you're involuntarily booked. So definitely, if you have a flexible schedule and you're within Europe, or if you're going and traveling between Europe, definitely worth it. Also, play the game. So there's a little bit of a strategy. If you ask early and you're the first one asking, then they're usually going to give you the lowest possible amount as far as a flight voucher or cash. By the way, some flights give you option, right? You can get like a free flight, like almost like a credit, or you can get a voucher, which is more like a cash voucher. I always recommend going for the voucher if you can, just because the actual flight will have a lot of like stipulations and restrictions. Sometimes they'll have blackout dates. So if you can't get cash or the voucher, go for that. So sometimes the strategy, sometimes you actually want to wait a little bit more, because they'll actually offer more as it gets closer to lift off, right? So, and same thing with the hotels, right? If you're getting there early and they anticipate a booking, they may not bump you, or may just like check you in. But you kind of have to play the game a little bit, at least for flights. The hotels, I guess, it's a little less flexible as to when you arrive, but see what you can get, but always be respectful, always be nice, because like how, who was it? Was it Deanna just said, yeah, you always want to be nice to the front desk staff or any kind of customer service staff. One, because it's just good to be nice to people, right? To be kind. And because that industry can be really tough, but also because they're going to directly impact how your trip goes, right? So be prepared. If you can even check the seating chart before you leave, so you can get an idea of how booked it is. That way you know how early to arrive and how much you can try to get. If you see that it's really, really booked and they're going to have to bump several people, then you have a little more leverage, right? Stay close. So once you've expressed that you're interested in, usually they'll hold your boarding pass for you, and then just stay close to there, right? If you can. And just that way you can kind of overhear what's going on and you can be updated without having to check in with them every few minutes. Don't do that. Don't annoy them, because then they'll just be less likely to honor your request, because they really have the power. They can have you go, or if someone else has also requested to be bumped, they can go with them instead. So be respectful, but make sure you stay close and cover yourself, right? Make sure that when you do get bumped, that you receive that physical ticket for your flight, your new flight. And if they say, there's no flight available until the next day or the day after, make sure that you also ask for compensation for accommodations that night if you're trying to get bumped for a flight. And if you are getting bumped for accommodations, then make sure you're asking for your transportation to be included and a meal. It's pretty standard practice. And if they don't, there is a way to be assertive and to disagree or say, you know what, I really think it would be fair if we got dinner. You know, this is really retro plans. There's a way to complain respectfully. And so just make sure that you stay calm, although it can be hard if you're not planning it, but try to stay calm, take a breath, walk away for a minute if you need to. It'll go so much better for you and for the staff there. I just saw another thing I forgot to take off the slides. Sorry. Oh man, today I actually presented for an institute. And so that took up a lot of my time today and also a lot of my energy. Okay, so I already mentioned this, but cash is always better than the actual like credit if you can get it. A voucher is okay. Usually they're valid from a year from when you get them, or sometimes it'll be book within a year, but then travel within that year of booking. So just really make sure that you're checking the requirements on that. And again, look at the flights. They might be limited as to when you can go and might have some restrictions and blackout dates. If it's involuntary, like I said, ask for upgrades, food, accommodation, be early. The earlier, the better, but play the game, right? Make sure you check the flight. Does it look full? I mean, you're not going to be able to tell if it's overbooked from your seating chart or your app, but you can tell if all the seats are full, because that'll give you a clue it's more likely to get booked. And then be flexible, right? Nothing is certain until boarding is complete. So even if you do say, hey, I'm interested in getting bumped, and the ticket agent says, great, I'll hold your boarding pass, they're usually not going to have you actually do it until the last minute. And that means you're also going to be in the last boarding group. So with that, always make sure that if you want to get bumped, that you don't check baggage, which can restrict some people from being able to do it, right? You have to be kind of flexible with how much stuff you have a couple of days or time or hours extra, but make sure that you have all of your stuff with you, because if you have bags checked, they're less likely to bump you, because it's a real pain. You know, if the luggage arrives earlier than you, and then where does it get held? Who picks it up? It can be really, really frustrating for the airline. Katrina, hey. And she has her little rockets, cute. Yeah, so if you want to get bumped, make sure for flight that you have all of your stuff with you, that you're doing carry-on only. And then for accommodations, I would say just don't take anything really out of the car, right? You know, leave your card in the porte cochere, I think it was called, or the awning. I'm forgetting it. It's blanking. It's been so long. But leave your car in the driveway or with the valet. Hold it there. Come in, check in, make sure everything's okay before you get all your stuff out, right? Because it's just an added bummer if you're not expecting to be bumped and have that happen. Of course, we're talking about trying to volunteer to get bumped so you can get those goodies. But if you're involuntarily bumped, it's just good to know. So, oh no, I didn't mean to go all the way back. So, like I said, if you're in the EU, you also get entitlements to other compensation, which I'm going to fast forward. I apologize for the clicks. I accidentally clicked out of it. And so, yes, if you're traveling to the EU, from the EU, in the EU, definitely make sure that you know what you're entitled to. Okay, so know your rights, EU travel benefits. So this chart is from the UK, it's from their government, but it's still a really good resource just so that you can see what it is. Short haul flights that cover less than 1,500 kilometers, 125 to 250 euro, not that much, but the conversion rate's pretty good for the United States right now, if you're an American. And let's see, medium, you got 200 to 400 euro. For long haul flights, more than 4 hours, which is anyone in the US, 300 to 600. So it's definitely worth checking. But here's the really cool thing. If you go down to the bottom, it says no matter whether you volunteered or you were forced to bump, your airline must also let you choose between the two options. So they're going to pick an alternative flight for you, or they're going to give you a refund, right? So not only are you going to be able to get some compensation, but then they can rearrange your flight for you. Of course, the compensation above that is only when it's not your choice, but below is when is whether or not you get it. So just to clarify that, because I don't think I said that correctly earlier. So if it's not your choice, you get compensation, but whether or not it's your choice, you're going to get either a refund or an alternative flight. So I hope I was clear on that. Sorry if I wasn't. Okay, so how to get bumped. So we already went over it in detail, but let's just go over the basics. We're getting toward the end. This is a shorter episode. So in case you missed the beginning, so if you're like, I want to get bumped, I want to get a free flight or a free stay in a hotel. So what do you want to do? So you want to plan ahead. make sure you give yourself an extra day or two. Like since we're all teachers here, this would be something probably easier to do in the summer and obviously easier to do if you live near an airport. Now for me, it's a little tougher because I have to drive about 4 hours to the nearest international airport. But you know, to me, it's not a big deal. I would rather stay in Phoenix at a cheap hotel and get several $100 more, right? Or a free flight later. So yeah, plan ahead if you can. 1 to 2 extra days at the beginning, 1 to 2 extra days at the end, because you can get bumped twice in one trip. I've had it offered before and multiple times in one trip. Don't check baggage. If you can, try to do carry-on only. In the future, I'm going to do one specifically on packing and how to do carry-on only, because I've heard some people express, how do you do that for like an 8-week trip? It's actually a lot easier than you think. But I might have different priorities than you, right? My sister always brings, although I don't know, both of us kind of brought a lot of stuff last time, but because now I'm carrying all this gear with me. But, you know, if you have like dresses and outfits you want, that's usually not the kind of traveler I am. If you look at my pictures, I tend to stick on the comfy, practical side, although I'll dress up every once in a while. But I'll teach you how to do a travel capsule wardrobe. Don't check baggage. Be early. Again, always with flights, you want to check in early if you want to have the chance, especially if you see your flight is full. And that's just good advice. Even if you don't want to get bumped, if you want to get on your flight, make sure that you're early and that you check in as soon as you can online, but also check in when you get there. And if you're trying to get bumped, stay close to the ticket desk. And of course, ask nicely. That old saying, it says like honey over vinegar, and all that is so true. As someone who's worked in the front desk, you know, in hospitality for years, I would always go that extra mile when someone was kind to me, even if they were just like neutral, you know, and some days that was enough to just make me so thankful that I would work extra hard. And, you know, I even held the philosophy if someone was rude to me, I would still try to make sure they had a great stay because, you know, if you paid for it and if you're here, you know, I want to be a good host or hostess. But, you know, when someone's kind to you, or like when someone tells you it's their anniversary or their birthday, you just want to make it special for them. And so that's one of the reasons I became a travel agent, was because I missed that and being able to like create those experiences for people. And so I still lead teachers on trips, but now I can also book that for families and clients too. Okay, so speaking of trips, we have some awesome trips coming up, and I just wanted to go over them because they do have some other dates coming up as far as like expiring and stuff, and I gotta make sure you guys don't miss out. So we are going to Finland in November of 2020. It is the week of Thanksgiving, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how much you love Thanksgiving and want to be in the United States for that. But how that's going to work, we're going to be spending several days in Helsinki. We're going to visit several schools. We're going to observe teachers in the classroom, learning from those world-class winning strategies, and we're going to observe them and shadow teachers. And that's why it's a little more expensive than the other trips too, because we're paying for those days in schools, and it covers your flight between Helsinki and Rovaniemi. After we observe the schools, we're going up north. We're going to go, I can't even believe it. It's just like a trip of a lifetime. So we're going to go chase the northern lights with a professional photographer who knows how to photograph them. So you'll get those amazing photos. And we're going to be able to see some reindeer. We're going to have a mushing lesson with huskies. And we'll learn about how the indigenous Sami people interacted with those animals and the land, and how they're really kind of making, how the country is really following their lead on that. And as someone who works on a reservation with indigenous people, it's something I'm very passionate about. And so I'm really excited for that. So if you can, definitely sign up. It's $500. Any of our trips right now, it's 25% to book. And so if you have $500 down for Finland, you can book that today. Ireland in March of 2021, we're going the week of St. Patrick's Day. So hi, Devin, if you're watching, and Devin's helping us coordinate that. So as soon as I have more information for you, I'll drop the info there. Yacht trip to Croatia. I still can't believe it, but we got such a great deal on it. So I encourage you to look it up. The yacht trip in Croatia is usually that same one is usually like $1,600 to $3,200 a person for a week, and we get it for $825. So really great deal, and you only need $206 right now, but the price does go up September 1st, so make sure you book soon. And I also recently released the Discover Dubrovnik and Dalmatian Coast trip, and that one will go up soon. That one only has 5 spots, so if you want to do that, make sure you snag your spot soon. And of course, as you remember, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Arizona time, we do Travel Hackers Academy. Now, I see that not everybody stuck through to the end. So for those of you who are new to Travel Hackers Academy, every Thursday we do this, and I do a couple of fun things. Let me actually take my screen out of there. So every week I look and see who was the most engaged with the group that week, right? They were commenting, they were posting, they were sharing value and really good content, and they get a prize. And then I also check and see, let me get onto the group really quickly. And then I also look at the comments. Katrina's saying Italy. Yes, I know. I need to get on that. I just finished up a 3-day institute today. I was leading part of it and then attending the rest of it. And so honestly, my brain's a little fried right now. Any of you who have like done a full day of PD online, just watching like videos and presentations, honestly, that fries me so much more than actually being there. When I'm there, I can be present, but it's so hard for me to just watch the video. It's not hard for me to teach distance learning, but it's really hard for me to learn that way. I don't know if any of you guys are like that. So I'm going and figuring out the most active member of the week. Yes. And then as soon as I have that Italy trip, I will definitely get that up for you guys. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to hear from Devin about Ireland too. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and show the most active person of this week. And a little drum roll. And the most active person is Katrina, as you can see right there on the screen. So congratulations. Oh, Cheryl's saying Africa. Oh, cool. Are you going to Africa? We're not going there yet. I would love to do an Africa trip, to be honest, but I want to make sure I build some partnerships there first, because I'm really, really trying to only do trips where we're either booking with teachers or they're led by teachers, trying to work with teachers who are business owners as much as possible, who are work in travel industry. Hey, Jessica. Deanna saying Morocco. And Vanessa says, yes. Oh, yay, Katrina. Vanessa says, yes, gives great perspective for how our students feel with distance learning, right? Yes, absolutely. I've always been that person who I needed the social interaction. I need to be able to, talk and think things through. As you guys can tell, I love to talk, right? But I've always been that way. And so it was really hard for me as a kid when I had to be in classes with teachers like, sit down, be quiet. Oh, you want to go to Africa? That's awesome, Cheryl. Well, another thing too, so even if we're not leading a trip somewhere with traveling teachers, I can still help you guys book things because like I said, I'm a travel agent. So if you just want to go somewhere with your family, I can help you do that. All right, let's get some names on here. So I have Vanessa, I have Jeff, I have Alyssa. I have, let's see, who's on right now? I have Anne, Lynn, Aaron, I hope you win that beauty bag. I think it'd be really funny. Deanna. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear my cat crying in the background? She is so needy. I can't even believe she's a cat. She if I'm gone, when I'm doing this stuff and she can hear my voice, she tries to barrel down the door. I don't know if you guys have a cat like that. She is so funny. And she's giving Jordan a hard time because she wants attention. And he's like, no, I'm busy. Katrina. I got Cheryl on there already. Jessica says, wow, an Africa trip sounds amazing. Jessica, I feel you on needing to talk a lot. I know. I know. I don't know how to not, I don't know. I don't know if it's something I need to change. But yeah, I was always that kid that got in trouble for talking. I did my work, but I would always talk. Okay. So I have all the names on there. Is it showing? Yes, it is. A little drum roll. Wait, no drum roll. Okay. A little drum roll now. And then I'll push start and we'll see who we get. I need to come with another one. If you guys have another name picker, let me know. Oh, yay, Riley. You know what? I don't really know you yet, Riley. Who are you? Riley Hennessy. So let's talk soon. I'll be reaching out to you. So how this works is if you were engaged all week, you get that $10 Amazon gift card. And then the little mini bag is the person that gets it randomly. And so I will be reaching out to you soon about that. And if you want, Katrina, I think I have your address already, but if you just want to go ahead and message it to me, just so I have it fresh into my feed, I'll get that for you. Social distancing has been difficult for extroverts. Let me tell you what, I am an ENFJ. I am honestly been going crazy because where we live is so rural and isolated, right? And, one of the reasons that I made this community was because there are people all over the world, especially if you're teaching on a reservation or another country and you need to connect with other teachers who love to travel, right? Yes, I totally feel you there, Jessica. Okay, so this is your first episode. So glad that you tuned in. We do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Arizona time. Make sure you're here. If this time doesn't work for you, you can always tune in the following week at 6 p.m. But make sure you catch it, at least on the original or the replay, because after I replay it, I'm taking them down because I'm adding them into the Travel Hackers Academy course. And if you're watching from the course, so glad you're here, because I want to make sure that, one, the feed stays clean, and two, you know, when people are paying for something, they're paying for the exclusivity of it, right? And you guys get access, early access, beta. You guys get all of the discounts I share with you guys. And also, hint, hint, look out for a flash sale now that hardly anyone's on. I need, what was that? Oh, I need this community of travelers right now, right? Yes, I know. So yes, be looking out for a flash sale soon. If you have not booked your yacht trip, just saying that. If you haven't booked it, look out for it. Okay, that's all for now. Rachel Town's watching. Hi. Oh, Rachel, you're tuning in just as we're ending. Rachel's actually coming with us to Finland. Yay. So if you're interested in Finland, make sure you book that soon. It's $500. So it's 25% down right now. So make sure that you pay that, right? And then it's really flexible. You can pay. I haven't been sending out. Oh, Katrina says, yes, we should have an online party. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with a social party. Let me know what day and time work best for you, because I tried on Tuesday, but it was kind of crickets as far as the book club. I know that not everybody has their book yet. So let me know like what day and time would work well for you. I don't know what you guys would want to do. I'm part of a travel agent group, and we do like pub nights, which is like, it sounds really silly when I say it out loud, but we'll have like a beer and we'll do like trivia, like, you know, kind of like Kahoot style. So that's something we can do. I think y'all need a chaperone for Finland. I know, right? I'm actually really excited because the teachers we're meeting up with there are so cool. They're in this group, and I just can't wait to actually meet them in person. Isn't that weird? Like when you make friends online and then you actually meet them, like you already know them. I don't have my book yet. Who is that? Vanessa. Okay, no problem. Jeff says, thanks for starting this group and the plug toward next week. Okay, oh, you're welcome. Or an online party. Riley says, I love I stumbled across this group. Oh, yay. That makes me so happy to hear. Okay. And then also message me if, I like Jessica. Oh, yay. You guys should befriend each other. That's awesome. Okay. So let me know if you have ideas for like an online social thing. Definitely drop them in the comments below. Let me know some days and times at work. If you haven't gotten your book yet, Beyond Tourism, be sure to check the book club link for that. And if there's a better day and time for that, let me know too. Okay. I'm actually ending it now. Thank you guys. Love you all. Bye.